Here we go. Hello. Good middle of Saturday and welcome to Nordschleife. Quali is on, setup is loaded, let's drive. One last check if the stream is fine. I think it's all good. Oh, my FFB is dead. Where is my reset? Alright. Let's go then. Hello CA. Yeah, so I've been figuring out that that R Factor 2 isn't really that popular anymore, and it doesn't help that this race and this HRSC is being organized in the early or mid Saturday afternoon. So I was like, should I even stream this? But no, of course I should stream, just to have the clips and stuff going on later. And it's good racing either way. One day we will have historic content in the Man Ultimate and it's gonna be nice. Hi STS, yeah, this is very interesting. It's quite interesting because it's really good content in RF2, as these F1 cars and some other historic content are actually like not even mods, they are just the default content made by well, not Studio 397 but by ISI that well, developed this sim a decade ago. I see, CA. But yeah, like there is a small group of big fans of this historic content of R Factor 2. Let's go bin it straight away. Held it. Do you have any damage? Not really. Great. Yeah, I've explored that banking a couple of times already. Oof. Yeah, the sound is great. The V12, the American V12. But yeah, what was I trying to say? I was trying to say that I would have hoped for more people enjoying the historic content because it's really good. It's a different style of racing and it's kind of good to have something different now and then. Not just the actual driving, but like the whole way you approach things. Because it's not about finding every last 10th, because you cannot. It's way too unpredictable. But it's just about figuring out how the car drives and doing the smoothest lines and so on. And staying on track and not crashing the car out. But yeah, it looks like everyone has moved over to Le Mans Ultimate. But still we have 24 people here today, so it's a solid field mix of Formula A and Formula B, kind of simulating 1967 race here, because Formula 1 used to be multi-class at some points in the past, which is interesting. But yeah, this is Nordschleife and it's funny because it's just Nordschleife. I've done countless of laps here on the modern layouts, you know, in different sims, and it's the same here, just that there is hedge instead of a wall and there is no curbs, and that's it. Okay, and the layout of the start-finish straight is very different, but it still feels and drives like Nordschleife. And yeah, the quali is 1 hour. And I think I'm gonna do outlap, hot lap, box, and another outlap, hot lap. Should be just enough time for that. And the Eagle F1 that I drive here is, if you don't remember, overweight, but very, very powerful. So it's good on the straights, but shame that there is not really any straights around here. Well, there is one very long straight, but it's not significant enough compared to the amount of corners. So the Brabhams will be way faster today compared to any other track. It's very green indeed, right? If you remove the barriers and all the advertisement from nowadays and the gravel runoffs. I've crashed 2 times already in this very corner now, so let's not visit that barrier anymore. And that's not a barrier, that's a fence. Can that be even called a fence? I guess that's a fence in English. This corner is very tricky because you turn in and suddenly have a jump. And then you go on the opposite side, or on the wrong side of the barrier, and then you fall through the ground into the simulated abyss. I think back in the days they had a shortcut, so they had to do only like 10 corners and then they were straight back on the start-finish line to start the quali lap, but in this mod we have to do the whole outlap. As we are catching a Formula B car, or well, Formula 2. On to the Dottinger Höhe. Which is way more bumpy and hilly compared to nowadays. I need to lift, not to overrev the engine here. And again. That's an outlap. Now let's actually manage to set a good timed lap. If you've been following my season here, you might remember that I have basically crashed out of every quali session. Not too proud of it, but it was always after setting a good lap time anyway. Okay, that was a bit too understeery. This wheel, that's a good question. It's a T500 RS Trustmaster wheel. But I have drilled holes in it so that I could mount a semi-cube quick release on top of it. Because I wasn't gonna spend 300 euros on a wheel rim just because I needed a round one. Turns out that this track is quite difficult for reading the chat. But about the ranking and the championship, honestly, I don't really know. I don't really look too much at it, to be honest. I've not scored in the first 2 rounds. Then I think I got 2 second places. Actually 3 second places. Or was it second, third, second? I was third at Zandvoort. Wait. I was third at Zandvoort, third at Spa. I crashed out of Monaco. I was crashed out of the first round, which was that South American track. That's not Kyalami, but East London, I think. And then I was second at Silverstone, I think. And then we have Devin Brown, who has won a couple of rounds and then rage quitted. And there is a drop round as well, I think. If not 2. What does that mean? Actually, this means that by the rulebook, if you crash and lose tires, then it's DNF. But if you return to pits, then you can just escape and take new car, new tires, and drive on, right? Yeah. I feel bad about it because, as I said, these quali sessions have been my biggest opponent this season. I keep crashing out of quali. Oof. It was a bad lap anyway. I would have escaped and All good. Still 40 minutes to go. Oof. I don't know. I broke quite a bit. So that's the problem with this car. If like you learn how to kind of be on the limit, but then if you just take it slightly safer, you forget what the car can do, and then you brake a bit too much, and then you get this snap oversteer on the entry, and then it's just unrecoverable as you go on a bit of a grass. Oof. Lucky with that. With that flying into the abyss and reappearing in the garage. How many real-life drivers from the 60s would have wished that was the case in real life as well? Hi Logi. Right, anyway, we have Bert Knops in the Brabham, driving for Brabham Racing Team. It still blows my mind, like after so many decades of Brabham racing in F1, you have the, well, Brabham's, is it grandchild actually having his, not crash again here, having even like a sim racing squad, and they are actually racing the simulated Brabhams from back in the days in this series. It's really crazy. But yeah, the Brabham is light, nimble, slightly underpowered, basically perfect for Nordschleife. Oh, and I haven't mentioned that my teammate for today is Mr. Oskari Kantonen. Who is a pretty fast vintage sim racing driver. Right, so how many hedges have I already inspected? At least 2. Very closely. And a bit more before the stream even, so... Problem is that these hedges are basically solid wall. I appreciated, if you remember, when I drove Dundrod with the historic sports car championship, there were many hedges, but they were not that collidable. They were kind of as if you, I don't even know, like you could drive through them. They tended to slightly damage you sometimes, but it wasn't a big drama. But here you go into that hedge and you're dead. But you cannot really prepare for this track, like with these cars. You would need 500 laps of practice. So today I have 500 laps on Nordschleife, but not in this car. So today I think I need to find a balance between pushing and stability and just survive the race. Never over pushing it. Because Silverstone some weeks ago was a big send. But this is interesting. No, this is different than Silverstone. That's what I wanted to say. Very different to drive. obviously. Haven't gone off there yet. I think I'm getting tricked a little bit because I drove mostly with full tank, and that full tank, which is 150 kilograms, well, 170 liters, so 120, 130 kilograms, that's mostly positioned on the front of the car, and that changes the car balance massively as it's such a light chassis. So it's catching me by surprise now in some corners. And it's the beauty and the curse at the same time of these cars, that you can really push them hard, get them sideways, catch the slides, use the slip angle to your advantage. But at the same time, if you're going sideways, it's not too safe and too predictable. But you have to send it in quali at least. Alright, second attempt. What is that disappearing shadow doing? Just noticed it now. In the middle of that compression. Oscar left, uh-oh. He's had a couple of issues with internet. Imagine doing this in real life. I just cannot. Hi Anson. Beware of the jump, not like that, but okay, survive the corner. And finally the straight where I can gain a second or two compared to the Brabhams. 7:55, very nice. I guess up to sub 8 minutes is fine for quali, but only P5. How is the car? I don't know what kind of blessing am I having, but this is like a third life in this quality that well, it's no damage, you know. The light blue is nothing really, so I guess there is a couple of bushes that will just slow down the car and then it's all fine. Okay. Now I was just thinking, like, this is the stage of qualifying where I either say, well, my car is very heavy, I shouldn't really try to battle against the lap times of lighter cars, or I say, nah, 5 seconds, easy, I can gain that. And I said the latter, and I went off because, well, I took off a little bit over that jump. Should have braked 2 meters earlier. But we have Mr. Kirsten in P2, and he's keeping me grounded because he's in the same car. So no excuse at all. So by the rules, now I need to drive back into the pit lane to escape. I cannot escape here because then the quali is over. So let me drive safely, but not the crash way of safety. You know, I was driving safe laps in previous quali sessions, going straight into the wall. And then let's have another attempt. So I will have like 13 minutes to go, so that's gonna be out lap and a hot lap. So it will be 23 liters of fuel and fresh tires, and should be good. And then I might as well do a full send because it's the last lap. And even if I crash it, no damage. But I will have to survive 15 laps of this in the race. where can I gain 5 seconds? I didn't really do much big mistakes. I just have to brake 5 meters later into every braking zone, except for those braking zones where I will crash if I do that, but I have no idea which ones they are. Here I lost a lot of time, yeah. Here I have for sure half a second. And that's too sideways for an in-lap. Well, yeah, 15 laps in this thing. It's scary, but that's what people did in 1967. It's insane because I'm scared of this thing even in a sim. Now imagine doing it in real life. It's crazy. Well, probably the track was maybe slightly smoother over some jumps in real life, although not much. And then the cars... Well, RF2 tends to have things slightly more slidey than they should be, so maybe it was slightly less dramatic in real life. And like jumps like this weren't this abrupt. That's supposedly flat out, but the nose keeps diving down. I hope I don't suddenly lose the control over the car there in lap 8 or something. Anyway, box. Where is my Peter quest? Ah, just to see where my box is. Okay. There we go. That's many cars in the paddock area. Does that mean everybody has crashed out already? I need to learn these poles here. Like, I think this is the breaking point. There is no good breaking point there. And it's hard to count them to figure out which one it is exactly. Right, one more outlap. Then we go full crazy, try to do sub 7 minutes 50 to match the Brabhams. Probably not doable, but let's see. Then a bit of a briefing and warm-up, and then the 15 laps. Yeah, Doc. Well, I wished that we would put together all the 25 Formula A cars, because it was supposed to be 25-ish, right? For Formula 1 or Formula A here. But people are dropping out for some reason. I mean, it's a really hard car. whichever you take. Well, the Brabhams are easier and the weaker cars are of course a bit easier. But still it's... I don't know. It can be quite an overwhelming experience. Even I am feeling like I'm the biggest noob driving these cars. Sometimes I just get sent straight out of the track even when not pushing, as you saw. So yeah, now the rules say that, well, the laps that have been set are set. If I crash the car now, quali is over, but that's fine. But issue is that if I crashed in lap 1 of quali, then I would be back off grid. And then the bigger issue is that the rules for this series say that if you crash in the race and lose 2 tires, or engine plus 1 tire, then it means that you don't get to use your car for the next round, but you need a slower reserve car to kind of simulate the small manufacturers from back in the days repairing the chassis and so on. Which is kind of cool, and it really adds that element of additional fear of crash, because we cannot add the element of fearing for the life when racing this. And it feels even better when it goes correctly. But yeah. Yeah, Doc, I thought kind of the same, but I'm a bit worried how it's gonna go for the last 3 rounds. Not sure if people are really just giving up on RF2 or if it's something else. But yeah, I can imagine indeed that if you crash a car and then know that you will have a slower one for the next round, you're not really happy to do it, right? Which is the harsh reality of how it used to be. If you crashed a car hard, then, well, you never returned. Back in the days it was like that. Fabio, bring it on. I would drive only that combination. Only that track for a month. Every day. I'm still dreaming of the Dodge Viper V10. Or was it V10 or was it some other layout of 10-cylinder? From late 90s. I'm pushing that around the Nordschleife, like the Zack Speed used to with their Viper. Would be quite an experience. Too realistic for your sim racing. I mean, I kind of start to slowly agree with you there. But really, this series is like fully oriented towards fully simulating every aspect that we can. We have car upgrades coming through the season, like they used to have them in 67. So we had the weaker 360 horsepower V12 for the first 3 rounds, then we got the 40 or 50 horsepower upgrade. The Brabhams got their weight reduction and extra power as well, and other cars are being upgraded as well. And then the slower cars are being sold kind of to people who just had like the customer entries. It must be a lot of work for Mr. Nicholas Hillebrand and the team to make it all happen, you know. And I really appreciate it. But then at the same time, it's not really... I mean, it's working, but it's not really working that well to have always full grid. And these races that are 2 hours or 2 hours and a half long, it's just extremely difficult. Like Zandvoort with the dunes, or the sand dunes overgrown by grass. Like right at the edge of the white line, when you're going to 150 flat out. Most of the grid DNF'd, like it's just extremely difficult. So, but I'm glad I'm doing it. I always wanted to do a season in these Formula 1 cars from ISI. Right, one more Dottinger Höhe straight, and then we are on our last push for the Quali. I really looked forward to Pescara, but now esports has stolen me. I'll be doing the VCO esports racing league thing on the same day in our dear or not dear Assetto Corsa competizione. You know, racing ACC when I could be racing RF2 is a big pain for me. But there is no way around it. So Mr. Kasper Stolze will be in to replace me here. Anyway, on to our last quali attempt. Let's see how early I die. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Delta is still happy. No! Is the apex. Half a second gone. Well, 3 more apexes and 2 more ski jumps to negotiate. Smotek saves because session is over, but I hope session stays up. No! Did they say that session switches off when it's timer at 0? Ah, that's unlucky. RIP. Well, that would have been P3, I think. It was a good lap though. It was a nice lap. I think sub 50, sub 750 would be possible. Now we have to jump over quickly to the briefing.
Hello guys. I am quickly just noting down a few things for the grid procedure already, so apologies.
Yeah, I'm fixing the positioning of Matt.
Yeah, just let me
Hello.
write down the final order, and then we can do that all in one go. Okay?
Guys,
Take
why
away
the
his
session
time machine.
ended?
Okay, well,
Do we skip the qualifying because I was on a lap?
No, we
Usually
didn't skip.
a factor.
You missed like over half of the qualifying session, Antonis.
Yeah, but was changed the car. I was changing the car and
Yeah,
stuff
but like
that,
before that,
but,
you were standing in the pits for around like half an hour.
yeah, it's not a problem. I can start last, but yeah, it's not. I was told that continue my lap. It was gonna.
Yeah,
count.
from what I saw on the server, you started the lap after the flag was already flown.
No,
Then I have to check.
I
You
passed
were
the finish
at the
line.
very you were still quite
2
close
minutes.
to the beginning of the lap. That's why it's probably skipped over.
2 minutes.
I
well,
passed the-
I was about
I will check
to.
it.
I was on a lap. I was about to cross the finish line, and it cut me off. And I crossed the I started with 6 minutes to go or 7 minutes to go, or 7.5 to go. But I couldn't finish it. It was like two corners to go. So
it's okay, but yeah, it's not normal. I have no problem. It's my first race here to
I was
start
about
last.
to do. Sorry. I was about to do 7 minutes 35, so I would like the poll back.
Yeah. Get out of
you
here, little driver.
gotta beat Matt
Still
9
no
seconds
match
ahead,
for
so-
Matt. Still no match for Matt though.
Yeah, 9 seconds.
It's
You
an
know, that
amazing,
record.
amazing lap, Matt. Well done, mate.
Righto. Enough messing about though. Let me quickly open up the briefing document and fuck off,
Okay.
Toby. No one likes you.
CA race is in 15 minutes, I think. 10-15 minutes.
Right. Round 6 briefing. Welcome everyone. Round 6, German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring in Germany. Weather stations predict dry, sunny to overcast conditions. Event schedule, we've already run over half of that. Briefing and warm-up is slightly inaccurate because we still have to adjust the grid. So after this, there will be a long list of commands in chat. Starting procedure will be a standing start. The single FB car that set a faster lap time than an FA car. At that point, congratulations, Niels Zendkowski, to becoming our version of Jackie X. I'm very proud. You'll be put behind Jerry, which I think should only move you one position anyway. The ones that did not set a lap at all, they will not be corrected, however, because, you know, to qualify, you have to set a qualifying lap. Lapping is after the briefing, please. Because
Okay, sorry.
I have to get through that fast. All good, all good. Also, please, no one out on the track. I just heard engine noise, but I don't know what that was. Anyway, lapping, blue flag rules. Slow car must let the lapping car through safely and quickly as to not impede it. Both cars have the responsibility to facilitate a safe lapping maneuver. What's meant with that is once the other car is lapping, like it's getting overlap, the slower car, please also stay predictable on the line. Also lift off the throttle, you know, if there's like a narrowing situation or like into a corner or something, to just let the car through and not cause unnecessary, you know, risk. Same to the car lapping though, you know, also be aware of your situation, be aware of your own car, and be aware of your speed going into corners, especially with altered lines going past other cars. Especially with Formula A and Formula B around here, be aware of your surroundings and, you know, take care of yourselves and others. Track limits, I don't think there's any place you could really find an advantage here other than the dimensional hole that Matt Wright found. But it'll be sorted out by the in-game system. Pit lane. For that, I'm also going to show a quick thing in a moment. Pit lane does not have a speed limit. However, drivers are required to safely enter and exit the pit lane and their pit box. Disregard the Lassour stuff that is still in from Spa, and I was too stupid to remove it. This here is also redundant, the final part here, because it's concrete plates that you will see in a moment. I'm quickly changing over to the screen so I can show properly. There There we are. Right, masterclass driving engaged. Everyone knows the exit of the paddock. Basically, when you want to pit, you see where the concrete plates start. Already start sorting yourself in here, there, and already start slowing down. Make sure that you are completely on this lane when you're pitting in. This line over here, this red line, marks the entrance of the pit lane. If you don't hit that properly, then it might cancel your pit stop. Normally, if you just go over it like this, you should be able to just pit in and ta-da. Normally anyway, but you know, if you don't do an outlap and stuff, it won't service you. Right. Back to the thing. Carrying on with a broken car. Should a driver's car have been severely damaged to the bodywork or suspension, blah blah blah. Have to retire the car immediately, when at least one wheel is gone. Hello? No one drives out yet, please. Thank you. But yeah, if any one wheel has been ripped off the car from a resulting collision, then the car must be retired immediately. If you have severe suspension damage but all your wheels, you can go back to the pits, but safely and cautiously, especially around other cars. Don't try to get it back at like 200 kilometers an hour and then be surprised if you hit a bump and explode. Disconnect. You know, we know this entire story as well. Carrying on with a broken car, also note that the Formula A rules aren't mentioned here at all, but the reserve car regulations will still obviously kick in. For this race, we have no rules regarding the reserve cars or the primary cars being used or not in use because of a tweak that we had for the brakes, which, you know, I tried to fix it beforehand already. Evidently, I didn't reduce the amount of like failure stuff enough, so that is completely on me and no one else should suffer for that. Also, my car was not killed by that, but I somehow managed to save my car, which is, you know, no one has to do the reserve car this round and ta-da. Disconnect is no quick repair, so, you know, if you disconnect once or something, then you can rejoin. Your car will be in the state when the connection was interrupted. But if you continuously disconnect, please stop, you know, rejoining like 5-6 times because it increases the lag potential for other drivers, especially around here. Track map and orange zone. We all hate, love, or respect it. Nordschleife, as usual, the entire circuit for lap 1 is an orange zone. So all penalties in that area will be doubled. The remainder of the race will not retain an orange zone, but guys, it is the green hell. It is an extremely tricky circuit, so high levels of caution, please. And yeah, with both FA and FB on the track as well, you know, a bit more caution. Are there any questions, Maximilian?
So my qualifying lap that I set with the wrong number does not count, right? As having set a qualifying lap.
What lap did you set?
A 9:01, so it was like 70 seconds off or something.
Yeah, okay, so let me quickly put... Yeah, you would be behind Jerry then, so... Well, you set a qualifying lap, you just, you know, used the wrong car for it, but car is set. We'll correct the grid lineup in a moment, so we have the F2 cars behind stuff, and so Matt doesn't get a pole position through, you know, dimensional exploits. Right, any other questions? Chat. Boo, okay. I presume that is no other questions then. Yeah, thank you again very much for attending. And yeah, good luck everyone. Stay safe, race hard, race fair, and yeah, have fun most of all. Briefing is over. We'll now start fixing the gridding. So we'll be letting you guys know in the chat, you know, with a couple minutes in advance, you know, if we're going to skip over to the next session. So yeah, briefing over, you're all dismissed, and good luck preparing.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck, people.
Good luck, everyone.
Okay, well, I guess we try to sort out the quali being cut off
Hello.
the later stage. Hello. Did you disconnect in Quali or?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I restarted everything. I restarted the router and the PC.
Okay, okay.
Apparently we are allowed to rejoin if we disconnect in the race as well, so...
Yeah. Where is the... Ah,
Just need to keep moving till the finish.
yes. What lap did you do?
I was 2 seconds off you, and on the last lap I was really pushing. I was getting my second sector time was 8/10 quicker, so I'm pretty happy.
Nice. Yeah, I was cut off. Like I was on the exit of almost on the exit of the last corner. Just needed 5 more seconds, and I would be like 7:51 ish.
Oh no.
And then the session moved. So unlucky.
How much fuel are we gonna need? The legendary question.
Yeah, I think 170 is kind of alright, but maybe slightly too low. So like 173 probably should be fine.
Yeah, I intend to use low revs anyway.
Yeah. Try to do one practice start. I use auto clutch and yeah.
Yeah, me too. Do you remember the last time we were teammates?
Ooh. Ah, that's a good question. GPV, some tier 2, tier 3 light formula racing around Nürburgring.
Suzuka was the last, but yeah, I think it was 2013.
2013? Oh, that's a long ago.
Or 14. Maybe 14, I think, yeah. So long ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. It feels so difficult. No, not difficult. What was it trying to say? Because of more fuel and the fuel tank being more over the front axle, like I think it's like spread around the driver potentially. Like you're sitting in a bathtub of fuel here, but it's more affecting the front axle. So now the front is a lot heavier and it responds very differently. And I can really feel the weight now in the FFB. Okay, let's use the banking, just quickly test it. Almost. Right, let's not use the banking in the race. I'm missing an assignment there. That should make it for a good start. That's what I said for Silverstone as well. And ow, and then I stalled almost. One more try. That was good. Right, so 5 minutes to go. Just enough to check a bit of Switchback. Unlucky. I wanted to do a race around the Switchback once, but no one ever organized anything.
I hope there are no rules about cars in warm-up.
I don't
About
think there
crashes.
are.
Oh, that was good.
I wonder how this corner works at the race start, because it's so long. Keeps going, but if you're on the outside lane, you might just get left out and overtaken by 3 cars on the inside.
Triple check the setup. Yeah, I have the wrong setup.
Actually, I'm now worried about something. I'll just quickly try one last click on front right height, because as the fuel burns off, the front axle starts going into the sky. And that could be a problem on low fuel. At the end of the race. Especially over all the jumps. I'm thinking of just like one click less on the front right height for the race, just in case. I don't know what's gonna happen with the front on low fuel in the end over the jumps.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope it's not gonna start being airborne and so on. I mean, there is no
Okay,
air
cool.
anyway, but yeah. I guess 7 on the front should be fine, even for full tank.
I will do it immediately.
It does hit the ground now and then with the front, but I don't think it's a big issue. I think at Silverstone it was much more of an issue because of all high speed.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it feels the same, but yeah.
Same but better.
Same but better. "30 seconds. The landing is tricky because the rear starts dancing around. Maybe I should have worked on the dampers. But all good. Do we survive or do we not survive? Wait, so there was a bug with Matt, or what was... Ah, now I get it, yeah, he got like the 0 point something lap time. So we have two Brabhams, a Ferrari and another Beagle ahead. Would be nice if I am at least the first of the Eagles. But if I'm brave enough, maybe I can battle against the Brabhams as well. Anyway, here we go. Thank you, Doc. I will need a lot of luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, enjoy, survive. I keep walking down in the... come on! I cannot do these launches. Anyway. It starts, I don't know what's going on, but it's not only HRSC, it's VMS Pro in LMU as well. But now here with this Eagle, I nail the 5 practice starts, and then when the actual start happens, it's just different. Either way. Let's get the places back, just not sure where and how. Wow, the guy went flying. Hi Chris, indeed. Car is heavy. Thank you. Finally, the horsepower. Let's go. I hope I make 2 positions here on the straight, but I'm scared of the jumps. And they are not slow either. Jason, it's R factor 2. I'm just lacking some cornering performance because of the heavy car. Ikmal, why? Because I'm having more fun. And with these cars, you tend to go sometimes very sideways, so you need a round wheel rim to catch the slides. And then the H pattern is just, it's not really a draw back in RF2. You don't really lose that time, but it's just more fun, more engaging for a series like this. I guess that's a yellow flag for the cars behind. Oh, actually Nico is leading the race, that's interesting. I thought the Brabants would just fully power off into the distance. No winged variants. This is the last season before the wings. I think. Or maybe there wasn't in 67 some cars with wings? I guess they were. But no, we are not using anything winged here. Nice switchback. So many already disconnecting. Hillebrand. Ah, the Ferrari. He has a history of doing things like that. Really quick always, Nico, on the race starts and first laps. And then suddenly he's in the wall. But there go the Brabhams, freely into the fresh air. That's a very loud helicopter outside. Anyway, let's see if the V12 is more powerful than the slipstream. It seems to be. I need to look after the rear axle a bit more. It's gonna wear too quick. Yeah, real men go flying without any downforce. Through the hedges, through the hills. But like just a little bit of downforce would add so much to this car. The attrition rate is era correct, at least. I struggle so much through these corners. But I guess this is the corners where it matters the most to have light car. Which I don't. But the Godrecki behind indeed has. But what I cannot afford is Hillebrand on my rear, because he's got a Ferrari, and Ferrari can keep up with the Eagle on the straight. Yeah, the sound is really well made. Some RPMs are not synced properly. I think at low RPM there is a bit of weird effects, but otherwise it's a really good experience. to listen to it and flying over these bumps. Right, so Brabhams are deep into sub 8s. There is no way I can replicate that. Again, it makes sense that we were maybe kind of tight in Quali, but they then need 50 kilograms less for the race start, or 40 kilograms less, and that makes a huge deal of difference. I know I say that every time, but I need to keep saying something myself, not to start pushing like a madman and crashing off while trying to match them. Closing in on Kirsten at least, that's good to see. Racing line on and driving RB. Yeah. I mean, I wonder how driving line would look like if I turn it on with this car. Because straights are not really straights, and sometimes you need to lift on the middle of the straight, not to fly into the air. please unlock. Alright. Nothing to see here. I was just experimenting with a bit of a wider entry. Built a bit of a gap on NOOO, closing in slowly on Kirsten. Just because of the environment, what do you mean? These flights are not great for my confidence. Kirsten 1.6, I did 1.2. A bit of a slip angle. Well, about memorizing track, I find it really interesting how I'm just using the modern track kind of not muscle memory, but like the visual cues. It just looks slightly different, but it's not really bothering me that hard. Apart from 3 or 4 different spots where the track is just different, which I had to learn by doing a couple of laps. Not sure if it's just this mod, but this road seems really wide. It's wider than the modern track. Maybe it's inaccuracy of the mod. Or maybe it's how it was. but I suppose the hedges aren't laser scanned. Can still brake later. But I mean, it's possible to make a really good track just from the footage. And then especially if you already have a good laser scan modern base, you just plot those differences over it, and it feels believable enough. Just about not close enough for a draft, but working on it. Yeah, Mr. Houdini, I don't know. It's really weird because it's quite a philosophical question for this flying. Oof. But you know, RF2 has all these fantastic tracks, beautifully laser scanned, greatly modeled. Daytona, you have Nordschleife, you have Long Beach, you have Laguna Seca, you have Indianapolis, and so on. And they would add such a great deal of fun to Le Mans Ultimate. But it's, for some reason, just not viable to just copy-paste them over. But imagine suddenly RF2 track pack for LMU for $15.99. No, that's too cheap probably. Imagine they added Monaco. I would instantly organize, just for the memes, a community race multi-class. 2.4 hours of Monaco with all 3 classes. I don't know how many, I mean, Garrett spots would be an issue, right? But if they added some support paddocks somewhere, would be epic. That's the breaking point. Too early on the brakes, but the pressure is rising. Hillebrand closer and closer as well. got the toe. Let's see if there is anything from 6/10, to be honest, probably nothing. 5/10. He's got the same car as I, so... Hachimi, no shoes. I'm in socks. Yeah, the toe is doing something. Oh, this is so scary every lap. Oof. Six laps done, 9 to go. He's making quite some mistakes, feeling the heat. I see Hildebrand did a mistake behind. Okay, a bit less of pressure then to make the move. He did what I did in Quali, but he collected it. Not the best time to drink. But I was dehydrated. More dangerous than crashing out through the jump. Oof, okay. That's a podium for now. Now let's focus on not utterly destroying the rear tires. So Hildebrand had to box or what? For the repairs? Yeah, he slid up. Okay, copy. Feels like Nico would just need to think of that pace versus safety slider and just move it like just gently towards the safe driving. Because he really has the pace. But he keeps sliding off. I mean, if it would be that easy, you know, it's never that easy. Wait, are we trying to optimize my drinking? And to be honest, I need to find a way, because sometimes in some races I need to drink, but there is just not any time to drink. This bump is horrendous. Ah, the guy went off. Oh no. Yeah, you have to reverse out of there. Is the banking. But still out of tow for Kirsten, so that's great. A drink button. You know what? I'm very like it's very interesting for me these little small engineering things that you can do. But I have always, or I never have any idea how to even approach that. Like you just need a little bit of engineering expertise and a little bit of programming knowledge and electronics, and you can do everything. I just lack a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's easy in SimHub. Just need like 1 or 2 more brains, and then I can do it. I still want to do once a wind sim, but not with small, high-frequency PC fans, but like with a huge alternate current fan. And then do the ducting and everything, so... One day, but I'll surely need external help. Keep touching that grass. Small water pistol. I mean, it would be quite a content, right? Almost forgot about the jump. I keep sliding, four-wheel drifting here every lap. Not sure why. Maybe the track is cambered away. It's an understeery corner nowadays as well. I cannot hit that banking anymore. I guess the grip has already decreased that much. It's a weird balance between the rear being thermally degraded much faster than the front, and then the fuel burning off, and therefore the front being higher and higher up into the sky. About the 6 hours of quota, yeah, we are planning it. Likely with Jesper. Did you see these dampers doing the absolutely fantastic landing? Jesper on LMU, let's see. I mean, when LMU came out, he was enjoying the Porsche GTE. He did like the world record, or like the best leaderboard lap 1 week. So he has had some pace, but I'm yet to make him drive the new tires. Yeah, we're looking at the Lexus. Should be a solid choice for Kota anyway. I hope it's not gonna be a Lexus fest. What's a good time at Kota? 7s, 8s, maybe? Like in the race trim. I hope. Yeah, I think esports will be long run in the 7s, but then it depends on the thermal deg. Could drop into 8s. I've not really done much laps, just like speaking from very short experience. Well, Kirsten, enjoy P3 for now. That was out of nowhere, like the front right just locked up. Well, if I had to lock up, I'm happy to choose that place instead of something else. Wasn't even lack of concentration or anything. It was just fully unexpected. Right, well, I think I need to adjust more and more to the fronts having less and less grip, even though I expected the rear to die harder. But, well, I did one overtake, so should be able to do the second if I have the pace to catch back up. Yeah, it is locking up quite a bit, the front. I see. But now I need to regain a bit of confidence. Still creeping, like, I don't know. Maybe my brake bias is just too much forward. But I cannot fix it from in car. Kirsten struggling as well. It's funny, whoever is ahead just is slower than the one behind. Then I overtake him back and he's gonna be on my rear all the time again. Ooh, what was that? Like an insane lockup. Let's take the banking for once. There we go. Hi, Ed. I don't know why sometimes the nose starts diving mid-air and sometimes it's just perfectly flat. But the lap times are still very solid. Actually, that was Kirsten 59. That was his PB. And despite myself losing a lot of time, I still went his 8:01. I mean, makes sense, we are burning off a lot of fuel. 5 to go. Bayer out of the race. He was ahead of me on the start, right? Or yeah, after turn 1. I was driving behind him for half a lap. It's just an understeer corner, and yeah, again, I locked up front left. It's just tiny grooved tires on the front. One shouldn't really expect crazy grip from them. was early on the break. Ah, messed up the whole sequence of corners. Come on! Well, messed up one chance. All good. A bit of a slow hypoglycemia forming. Which is something that 5 grams of flavored sugar can quickly fix. Forward to go then. Half an hour more of focus. Man, the jelly sweet just wouldn't come out of the wrap. I'm jumping over those hills and I cannot get it out. Luckily I managed to. Ooh, nice catch. Super boost. He's been struggling through this sequence of corners every lap. Just not sure how I can capitalize on it. Not really possible to overtake here. He pushed me a bit over, I think. And then no radar, so I didn't see where he was. That radar app... again this corner, come on. The radar app is just so OP to have. And I was too scared to use the whole track there, not to rip the tires off. this corner is the worst. Always feels like you broke 50 meters too early until you're four-wheel sliding into the barrier. A nice healthy slipstream, let's go. Here we go, back into P3. Can I keep it this time? 3 to go. Well, that was some racing. let's see who has more nerves remaining. I wish I could change the brake bias from in-car. Take care, Pierre. And to all the missed messages, I'll try to read them at some point, but it's... Notch life is not easy on me today when it comes to the chat and reading. With modern cars, it's so easy to just... Yellow flag, copy. I don't see anybody on the relative dropping pace. With modern cars, it's just so easy to quickly glance over the chat out of a corner once the things stabilize. Problem with this car is that things never stabilize. Even late in the second, you're still kind of correcting it. Like here, like revs are rising and you're still counter steering, so... And then the next corner is here already. Too early into the apex. It's funny because it feels like that longitudinally, like braking and traction, the tires are struggling quite a bit, but laterally in the corners it doesn't really feel much different. Another day, another bad bot. Bad bop. Bop. Well, that's life. One day I will have a good bop. Well, glad to hear, Doc. Today I'm the first of the non-Bradhams. So 2 laps to go. Too early on the throttle. Oh, wait. I'm looking at the gap between Wire and Knops ahead. Guess Wire had a mistake. For some reason I find this much less exhausting than Spa-Francorchamps or Zandvoort. Generally, we actually have more of a margin of error here. In most corners at least. If I keep pushing like this, I'm risking a crash, but if I stop pushing like this, I'm risking a crash. Yeah, the tires are now sliding quite a bit. You think I should risk a crash? It's better to risk a crash while going flat out than when you're just coasting around, right? If I go for a PB, I might even close in on Cedo in P2. That's mildly unrealistic though. Thank you. I'm really risking a crash, aren't I? Stop going to the crowd, this is not high racing. Copy. Well, hold the breath for one more lap. Oh, that was a tire in the air, like in the middle of the sky. So fuel is good. I think the front still smashes into the ground, to be honest, at the start of the braking zones. And then the front axle loses a bit of grip, and that's why it immediately locks up when I go full input on the brake. Is Sido baiting me into over pushing, or is he actually struggling? He's limping. Engine, come on. 1000 horsepower. Wait for me. And across the line. Guys, I'm dead. Somehow alive, but what a race. I mean, always good to have a nice challenge at the end, but if it only ended up in an overtake, right? Like half a second gap. There were so many very small moments. Actually, look at that, 7:53.68. You know what? There was every single lap of the race where I could easily have gained not just the half of a second gap, but even more if I pushed more. Then at the same time, Wire just had a lot more pace in the car, so you know, if he didn't make a mistake, he would be a minute ahead. Anyway, oh, I beat the fastest lap of Knops by a couple of milliseconds. I was about to die in a couple of places. I tried to stay under control, but I saw the Brabham ahead. I had to send it fully, without a reservation. Okay. Well, was a nice race, nice day of racing indeed. Let's see if Oscar 456 still on his last sector. Yeah, I can feel my shoulders, like they are gonna be absolutely dead. It's funny how with all these high downforce hypercars, I don't really feel that much of a problem, but every time I race this, a small old nimble piece of metal with some pistons at the back, I feel my shoulders like I have had the craziest of workouts possible. Well, thank you guys, thank you chat, thank you for watching, for commenting, for liking, all the good stuff. Because yeah, like I sometimes think, should I stream RF2 or should I just enjoy it myself offline? But I think it's good. I have a bit of content for 1 or 2 shorts. Self-centering for... yeah, indeed. When you're trying out of corners to correct everything, it's constant this movement, and then yeah, the shoulders work. One, two, three. Was that Oscar? Yeah. GG.
GG.
Survived. Enjoyed.
Yeah, just, yes. I made a mistake on the final lap.
Were you fighting for P5?
No, I was a minute behind.
Ah, okay.
Very lonely race after a while, but it's alright.
Yeah, I mean, you will see, but Wire was slowing down, so I just fully sent it. Almost died 3 times, but then in the end just fell short of one straight, and like I would have got him into turn 1 if finish line was like out of turn 1 on that straight.
Oh wow. Yeah, and yeah, I think you had a good fight with Niklas as well at some point.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy for some laps.
Yeah, that's good. I hope my incessant yapping didn't ruin your stream.
Nah. All good, all good.
It's like the old story of 2 old Finnish friends going to a bar and they don't speak except they order drinks all night, and then at the end they say to each other that they had fun and let's do this again.
Yeah, well, next time, I mean, if you want to race, so basically Kasper Stolze will be in my car for the next round, as I'm gonna miss it, as I'll be suffering some Assetto Corsa Competizione esports.
Oh no.
Yep.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, thank you. But the other car, maybe Ross wants to drive, but yeah, we will talk about availability and so on. But look, it's great that we have both cars in one piece still available for the next round.
Oh yeah, indeed. And I got that P6 you wanted. Although you don't get team points only for the first car, right?
I think up to 2 reserve drivers can score points.
Yeah, but I think only the first classified car. I mean, like only the top car.
To be honest, I don't really know how the system is.
Oh yeah. Well, Austin, 2 minutes 20. That's good. Good
Sorry?
lap. Austin's fastest lap, 2 minutes 20.
2 minutes 20. I'm yet to press escape, but oh yeah, 220. That's nice. Actually, I stolen. Actually, yeah, I stolen the fastest lap from the Brabham, like the legal fastest lap by
Oh,
7 milliseconds.
Oh, so it seems.
Crazy.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you, you too. Let me close down everything. Right. Well, thank you guys again. Next race is gonna be. So I don't have anything tomorrow. I don't have anything on Monday. So I think it's just gonna be the good old Le Mans Ultimate daily races on Tuesday with the GT3 Fixed Championship round 5-ish. That I will probably do with some other car. I will unregister the Mustang and re-register with something maybe a bit more competitive. Let's see. Yet to decide. Let me close down the stream with a nice replay. If I can find it. It was this one. So at this point I was like, okay, a bit sideways, no worries. But here I was like, okay, extra rotation, great. Here I was like, oh no. Here I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure crashing out. Here I was, is there a chance? And then I actually didn't even come that close to the wall. Actually, you know what? While I'm in the replay and while I'm in the process of closing down the stream, why not just quickly check this overtake? This is quite some airtime. It's crazy, I thought we were not that high up in the air.
How much tire did you have left at the end?
Let me check Motec, just quickly checking the flight in the replay.
Yeah. Let me see, I'll also open the stream.
He had to lift a bit, yeah. Yeah, the outside was better. Yeah, I mean, I guess the jump was a bit less in real life, but they did get some airtime. Okay, well, finally, let me find the button to close this down. There it is. Right. Thank you again. Have a nice weekend. See you next time. Bye bye.